Hi everybody. It's the day before DokuCon, so I decided to talk about something that I usually don't talk about. Um, Back in 2009, I did something that I'm not entirely proud of. I actually had to evict a former roommate. Now, the story actually goes back about, I think, 2 years prior to that, or a year prior. And this was actually a confession that I made about it back in 2011, apologizing to the fact that I actually did this. Back in 2009, I evicted a former roommate for non-payment of rent for 3 months. Most of the time, my friends say it was justifiable. Others say what I did pretty much wrecked my reputation in the view of anime fans. What I did was because of the way he was acting. On social media, I went on to a group that we were both in and asked for help. He needed help. I was trying to find a job, and he had, yeah. What happened next, I pretty much got part of the story. I usually don't throw it out very often, but apparently to one of my friends he attacked, and I was pretty much traumatized by it because it really hurt. So I left that night and stayed over at a friend's house, and a couple days later I ended up going to two of my really good friends' apartment and stayed there for, according to them, 3 days. I slept most of it. And my mother called to chew me out, not realizing my friends were sitting there listening to the conversation. And what had happened was somehow my former roommate had managed to get a hold of my parents, and he couldn't find me. I was at a friend's house. I didn't tell him where I was. I didn't want to tell anyone where I was. And I told finally 2 people that I knew and trusted, and they came and got me. I wanted to lose the key to the house intentionally. Personally, I wanted to, but I didn't. I left. I subsequently, 4 of my good friends, which are the infamous 4, they don't know how famous they are sometimes, showed up, and they witnessed what was going on. 2 of which asked for the phone number for my dad, which I gave. I waited until my former roommate was out of the house to do so, and I gave them the number, and my dad got the full story from them, because I was told I was crying wolf so many times to people, and I asked for help. I was told by a group of anime fans that it was drama, that they threatened to kick me out of the group because I thought if I went to the community and said, hey, I need help, this person is, we need to do something, he is a friend, I don't want him to get hurt, and I was told to shut up. Basically, I was not allowed to, and it hurt. It still hurts to this day. It hurts, and it still affects me. The thing is, when you have a community of fans that like the same thing, and one of their fans decides to fall off the bridge, like literally fall off the bridge, and you witness it, but everybody else is ignoring it, and you call it for what it is, you basically are crying wolf in their eyes. So what I did, I pretty much gave the biggest fuck you to the entire community and walked. And I stayed in the message group up until 2016 when I realized, again, I needed some help with somebody who was unstable and nobody was willing to do anything about him. And I said, okay, this is a different person and I'm being treated the same way, so fuck this shit, I'm done. And I walked. And I left. And people still call me a bitch. I'm at a convention and I get, oh, don't talk to her. She's the bitch that evicted so-and-so in 2009. Don't talk to her. Or, oh, it's her. Yeah, she's drama. Don't even bother. And finally, when someone actually talked to me and asked me what was happening, I told them. And the first thing out of one of the girls' mouths was, oh my gosh. And I was like, what? That same guy did the same thing to so-and-so. But she never said anything. And I said, I did. And I bet you anything, she did say something, and she got punished. The same way I did. I learned early on that if something bad happens in the anime community in Colorado, you don't say a damn word. You keep it to yourself at first. But if it persists and it continues, go to the police. Do something else. Or better yet, don't even show up to their meetups anymore. If, let's say, they host a meetup in Denver, don't even show. Just tell your friends, no thanks. It's drama. I don't want to deal with it. I walked in on a meetup one time. I was downtown, and it was a meetup at one of the places I usually go to. And I showed up, and I went, oh, shoot. I'll come back later. I turn around. Just before I turn around, one of the girls from the group grabs me and goes, oh, don't go. You're part of the meetup, right? And I'm sitting there going, no, I'm not. I'm not part of this. And the girl that was who was head of the meetup told me I could stay. And it was the first time I ever got told I could stay. I was at a bookstore and all I wanted to do was pick up a damn book and get the hell out of Dodge. And instead, the girl was like, no. My name is such and such. Hi, nice to meet you. We had the same roommate. Oh. Hi. How much does he owe you? I told her, and of course, story short, he owes her $3,000, which is a lot more than what he owes me. And she wanted to know if there was a statute of limitations of when to take somebody to small claims court. And this is when I found out he was living out of his car. And I said, why would we sue somebody who's living out of a car? And she's like, oh, it does kind of seem kind of defeatist. I said, no, it's not that. It's he can't pay us back. There's no way. Years later, I'm talking to him, and he's trying to make amends. I'm trying to make amends, and the two of us are talking, and again, his friends, his so-called friends, bring up the fact that I'm the bitch. It doesn't end. That's the problem. It's been years since 2009, and coming up next year, it's going to be 10 years. 10 fucking years of this shit. And I've been with my fiance for like 8 of it. And I feel horrible that he has to go through this with me. I don't want him to go through it. And I told him, I don't want you going through this with me. I don't want you to walk into this with me. But unfortunately, it's going to be a persistent issue. And I don't like talking about it because it honestly gives up the fact that I looked for a community that I wanted to belong in, and that community just decided to be assholes. So when I tell people, don't rely on them. If the anime community puts up a meetup, don't go. Because they're going to expect you to put on a face, a fake face, and say, oh, well, just don't go. That's all I say. If you're in Colorado right now and you see this video and you attack me over it, my response is this. I went through enough hell. And I'm still going through it. I turn up to anime conventions hoping nobody remembers it. And I get reminded that I don't belong there. And going up to DakuCon tomorrow, I am going to be facing that same ridicule, but on a different level because I'm a panelist. But I'm also a very different person than I was in 2009. And I don't want to deal with it anymore. I am so tired of the drama of, oh, she's the one who threw out so-and-so. She's the one who's the problem. She's the one that should do this. She should have done that. I mean, I literally wanted to just throw my shit into a box, pack up my entire room, walk out on the lease. I could have done that because I could have handed the lease over to somebody else and leave. I should have done that. And hindsight's 2020. Honestly, if any of you have gone through this or going through this, know that your real friends are the ones that'll back you up. They will come to your rescue. Mine did. At least tried to. But the community that I wanted to be part of turned their backs on me. To this day, I don't show up to Nandasacon. I don't show up to a lot of conventions because the conventions I like to go to, like Starfest or Mile High Con or MallCon or Myth and Legends Con, are all the conventions these people don't go to. They don't show because it's not their thing. And I'm kind of happy they don't show. And I think my former roommate is happy they don't show either because now he and I are both in the doghouse. My former roommate, recently, his ex-girlfriend stole books from him. Like literally books that were signed by authors to him. And was trying to sell them off. These are books that are relatively, how can I say it, worthless to somebody else because they have my former roommate's name in them. And the thing is, when I told him what she had done, the comment he got was, that explains why that box went missing. I said, yeah, do you know how long I stood in line just to get those autographs for you because you asked me to? And he went white as a sheet. He was furious, not at me, but at her. Because I did put forth the effort, and he appreciated that. But when I told him I could try and get the books back, and he said, no, that would be another debt that I owe you. And I said, what if I just want to get them back for you? That was what hurt him worse, is the fact I wanted to help him. Because those books are sentimental in value because it's something that we both shared a memory of. So, yeah. If any of you are going through what we went through, just so you know, if you're in the Colorado anime community, walk. Take your stuff and walk out. It's not worth your time or your effort to be friends with people who are just going to fucking use you as a popularity jump-off board. use the community board as a way of talking about the stuff you like. But if if somebody finds out about something that's going on in your life, block the hell out of them. Don't even acknowledge them. Because chances are they're going to do the same thing they did to me. Okay? That's all I'm going to say is my warning to anyone in the Colorado anime community. Walk out. Don't stay. There are so many other great communities out there. There's so many great anime fans out there. But these people are not the greatest. There's some really nice people in that community, yes. They try their damnedest to make that community work. But it's throwing a lot of dust up, and that's it. They're not covering up the fact that there's a bunch of vipers in there that will rip you to shreds over coughing in the wrong area, saying the wrong thing about their child, acting like children themselves. So now that I've said my piece and said the warning, do yourself a favor. Walk. Don't run. Walk. Get out of there. Because that community is going to hurt you. And it hurt me. It hurt my roommate, my former roommate. It hurt my friends. And it's going to continue hurting people. Because the admins try. They try. But it's not worth it. Find another community that you can talk anime about. I found one. So Nerdology, you guys give a thumbs up. I love you guys. But if you're on Facebook and you're in Colorado, avoid the Colorado anime community. Because there's so many other people out there that are great. That are not part of that community, okay? Talk to you later.